Nobody ever thinks they'll have to choose between a sleepless night listening to water drip through the ceiling or losing their entire roof to a Texas thunderstorm. But life's got a mean sense of humor, and it loves to play that card right when you're feeling safest. That night I was dead asleep until this bizarre, ugly noise yanked me awake. It wasn't the steady drum of rain on the windows, and it wasn't thunder shaking the glass. It was something wetter, heavier, like somebody up there was dropping soaked socks, one after the other, on a drumhead right above my bed. First thing that went through my mind, well, that's not good. If you've ever lived through a Texas storm, you know it's not just rain, it's a fight. The sky opens up like it's got a personal grudge, trying to drown everything just to prove a point. I just lay there hoping it was a nightmare or maybe just a side effect of those late-night spicy tacos. "Do you hear that?" Sarah mumbled, half asleep. I shuffled out of bed, and the minute my feet hit the floor, I knew something was off. The air felt heavy, wet. I flipped on the light, looked up, and sure enough, there was a dark stain spreading across the ceiling, gleaming about, ready to burst. Then, splat, a fat drop landed right on the blanket. "Get a bucket, towels." "Grab the pasta pot," I yelled. So there we were, me and Sarah, not husband and wife, but emergency responders fighting a losing battle against the rising tide. I crawled up into the attic, flashlight in hand, already itchy from the insulation. The rain up there sounded like machine guns against sheet metal, the smell of wet wood everywhere. And the problem wasn't hard to spot. A massive oak branch snapped off in the wind had punched right through the roof and made a perfect funnel for the rain to pour in, aimed straight at our bedroom. "How bad is it?" Sarah hollered. "Well, I'm missing the Titanic orchestra up here," I yelled back, shoving a plastic tub under the main leak. Didn't get a wink of sleep that night, just laid there calculating the damage. Insurance deductible, emergency roofer fees. The look on the HOA president's face if my lawn died 'cause I was broke. By morning, the rain had quit. I climbed down from the attic, covered in fiberglass and looking like I'd lost a fight with cotton candy. Sarah handed me a cup of coffee, just asked, "What now?" I said. "Gotta go find a tarp, supposed to storm again tonight." The hardware store was a madhouse, everyone in town grabbing whatever they could. At the very bottom shelf there, it was the last tarp big enough to cover the hole, and it was so bright blue you could spot it from outer space. But hey, desperate times. I'm not built for climbing, but I got up on that roof wrestling with a 30-pound tarp in the wind. Nearly flew off twice, but somehow I got it nailed down. By the end, the house looked like it had a neon blue bandage right on its forehead. Ugly as sin, but at least it was dry. Sarah brought me some iced tea and said I looked like I'd just conquered Mount Everest. That's when Patricia Vance, HOA, Queen herself, rolled by in her spotless Lexus. Didn't even wave, just snapped a picture of my roof. Then one of me and said, "That blue is very aggressive, David." I told her it was the only tarp left, emergency repair. "We have standards for a reason," she said. "Not so much as a you doing okay." 2 days later, boom, certified letter. Unapproved exterior modification. Fine $500. Take the tarp down in 24 hours or else. Never mind that it was supposed to pour for 3 more days. I just stared at Sarah. She wants me to climb up there in a thunderstorm and put on a designer tarp that doesn't even exist. Sarah just shook her head. "You're going to the HOA meeting tonight. That's final." So I did. The meeting was packed as usual, retirees, nosy neighbors, the works. Patricia presided like a judge, and when it was my turn, I told the whole story. The tree, the flood, the blue tarp. "You can't fine someone for keeping their house from flooding," I said. Patricia didn't budge. "Rules are what keep society from chaos." She even suggested I rent a proper tarp from her brother-in-law's company at $100 a week. Right then I knew this wasn't about tarps or even about rules, it was about power. So I started reading city code, state property laws, even OSHA. I dug through so many statutes I nearly lost my mind. But there it was, hidden deep in municipal code. As long as you've got an active construction permit, You're exempt from all that HOA aesthetic nuisance nonsense, including blue tarps. Next day, I drove to City Hall and applied for a permit for a full structural roof assessment and long-term timber rehabilitation. The clerk stamped it without even blinking. I taped that thing in the front window, wrapped my yard in caution tape, and waited. Patricia lost her mind. She called the cops, claimed the tarp was a signal for drug dealers. The officer checked everything out, took one look at the paperwork, and told me, "Dave, you're a genius, but can you please tell your neighbor to stop calling us?" Next, Patricia tried to change the HOA rules. If a repair took over 30 days, you had to put up a privacy screen and pay a $5,000 bond. Sarah was starting to worry for real, said maybe we should just fix the roof. But I told her if we fold now, she wins. So I bought the loudest, ugliest orange plastic construction fencing, hung danger signs everywhere, and turned the place into what looked like a zombie quarantine zone. Then the lawsuit landed. HOA took us to court for $25,000 and tried to foreclose on the house. Sarah was scared I was ticked off. So I called up Steve, my old college buddy turned streetwise lawyer. Steve just laughed when he saw my stack of paperwork and pictures. "Man, this is art," he said. "We didn't just defend, we countersued, demanded every HOA email and contract, dug up every bit of dirt." In court, Steve rolled out the city permit, all the safety regs, even a photo of my roofer, Big Mike, up on the roof, pounding a single nail for progress. When Steve revealed Patricia's side hustle, steering neighbors to her brother-in-law's business for kickbacks, even the judge's eyebrows shot up. The verdict was sweet. The judge said, "Mr. Miller, you're a pain, but a legally compliant pain. All fines void. HOA pays your legal fees, and the DA can look into this vendor business." Patricia lost her job. The board resigned. The new folks running things said, "As long as you're not burning down your house, we don't care." Patricia packed up and moved to Florida. Finally, after 2 years and a mountain of drama, Big Mike and his crew came and put on a brand new roof, deep blue shingles. No one left to complain. The neighbors came by and said it looked great, even matched the shutters. Sarah, teasing, said she missed the orange fence made the grass look greener. I just laughed, sipping my coffee, looking at my shiny new roof, feeling free for the first time in years. Looking back, here's the truth. There will always be people who bend rules to serve themselves, who thrive on power for power's sake. But sometimes if you stand your ground, if you do your homework and refuse to back down, justice wins. The storm didn't beat me. Patricia didn't win. And my roof finally was both strong and free. So let me ask you, where do you draw the line? Is it worth the fight? Or do you just pay the fine and move on? Ever found yourself toe-to-toe with petty power? Tell me your story down in the comments. I'm all ears. And if you ever need a permit, well, I know a guy.